Welcome back to Q Dads, it's me Ste. Episode 9 of From has just dropped, and again, following the trend of previous episodes, it's left us not really satisfied in my opinion. We had a bit of an underwhelming end to the episode with Tabby's dream, and also a storyline that was absolutely wasted with Victor. I'm so angry I could slap myself. So before we dive into that, of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to keep up to date with Silo. That's right, because From is naturally coming to an end. Well, it did about 3 episodes ago for us. So it's fair to say, expect a little bit of a rant and a little bit of a moan as we dive deep into this episode. So yes, let's talk about the first main point, which is how it ended, and that very underwhelming bit of information we get. So it's revealed that Miranda, Victor's mom, was actually killed by the Smiler, which was nice to see in return, but very underwhelming. I asked myself if we really needed that bit of information. Of course, we kind of knew that she died, but I suppose confirmed that she never actually made it through the tree, as a lot of us expected her to have left the town, but nope, she didn't. This means we ourselves have been holding out for hope for it to be sucked away, meaning we all know how the people of the town feel. And this was all from Tabby having some kind of vision when she touched the door to the cellar, which, touching on my point from a few episodes ago, is that door and potentially the other red door made from a faraway tree, considering that Tabby had been through a tree and survived, meaning she would have some kind of connection with that wood and the power that resonates with it. Now, why was Tabby so angry about her visions? Was it in fact because she was somehow Miranda or sister to Victor, as so many of you have theorised, and that Eloise actually left through the tree because she thought her mum had done and lost her memory and was adopted as Tabby? Probably not, and more likely she was just being overly dramatic about the visions, because that's what she does, always fails to impress, and even fails to get the job done, like when she left and didn't get help. Similar to this episode, as we don't know if Fatima is still alive because Tabby clearly got right to the entrance and left Fatima to potentially die. Now, Ben wanted to mention that the way these scenes with the cellars were portrayed, it was as if they were the same cellar, but actually, at times we've seen Elgin with the door, it has been more of a flat landscape, whereas this one that Tabby enters sits next to a forest. Now personally, I think that would be a cool little twist, and Ben normally is quite good at calling these when it comes to scenes, and I think I can actually agree with this. I've gone back and I've looked at the scenes, and he's right, the camera angles are always different. Not only that, but when Elgin enters the cellar, the camera spins behind him and there are no ruins like there are in the shot with Tabitha, and you can clearly see with Tabitha a flag or something is waving in the background. So actually, although this scene was making us think Tabby was going to save Fatima, actually she was in a completely different location and never even stood a chance, meaning that yes, Fatima probably is actually going to die following the birth of whatever it is. Let's talk about the next point, which involves Victor. We see a scene where he took an axe in a sheer crazy moment and proceeded to go and chop down a faraway tree, which got me on the edge of my seat, thinking something was about to happen. But after just one hit, this spurred on the boy in white to give us a bit more of dialogue from him, as well as spurring on my deflation. The boy in white went on to say that Victor should not be chopping down the tree because it will only lead to trouble, as the trees are important within the show. Which of course we know that, and we've already been informed for the past 2 seasons that these trees contain value within the show. But yet, the little boy in white just walks away. I mean, it was nice to see that they talked about how the boy in white looks completely different, you know, just because of timing with the show. I think they changed the actor. But it felt like they really just flopped on this one and missed a vital opportunity. I think they could have had Victor hit the tree 2, 3 or 4 times more and then have the boy in white come back and almost put the fear into Victor. But it didn't happen. Just one hit and a strong conversation, and that was it. It was all over. It just felt really deflating to see, and actually I thought something was going to happen. Then that could have been an element to the show that changed the way they live, similarly to when Boyd found the talismans. And yet we were disappointed with this. Similar to how we were disappointed with Fatima as she found the door within the cellar that could have led to the underground tunnels, a different chamber that we've not yet seen, but instead she is simply restrained by the spirit. Now this is actually interesting, as we've not really seen the entities in From touch things. This is only the 2nd time, I believe. The boy in white pushed Tabitha, and now the spirit is able to hold Fatima down. Now, if this spirit can clearly do that, why did you not bring Fatima here herself? Does this cellar hold some kind of power over the town? Does the trapdoor actually lead to a place like the ruins Boyd was in that once? A place where visions and stuff can happen? maybe a place where time moves differently. This ultimately could be where Fatima then gives birth to a child out of time, and then that obviously brings about the other theories we've had with time and stuff, as clearly they've shown time can be manipulated in some form now. Also, let's not forget to touch on the fact that Jade saw Christopher and his favourite screaming puppet, Jasper. Why is Jade still seeing Jasper if we now know Jasper was never a talking puppet in the first place, and it was, in fact, the boy in white? Does this go back to our original theories that Jade is somehow the reincarnation of Christopher? We did speculate in the last episode that maybe Jade needs to be the one to go through the tree to save the children. Now, finally, something we've been saying for a while with Boyd, and that is about them using Fatima to mess with him. Finally, this came up in the episode today, with Boyd saying those exact same words, which I think is great to hear, as next episode should hopefully have something major happen with Boyd. And speaking about next episode, as it's been for the last few episodes now, since episode 5 and 6, I've been really deflated with the show and really let down. I feel like they've missed a load of opportunities, like this one with Victor and the tree, and I'm hoping that episode 10 at least gives us a bit more hope for the next season. Otherwise, I'm not even sure if we're going to cover it. And it's not these 2 points that have made me disappointed with the show. But there's other storylines, like Jim trying to be a better father, then the whole Thomas phone thing that no one seemed to care about. Even Ethan wasn't fazed at all. And then you have Donna feeling sorry about herself for Fatima, which again just doesn't really faze me. I'd rather her put her energy into finding the truth and revealing things about Fatima. Even when she took a walk with a cop, it was kind of a I can tell you things, but I'm not going to moment, which is what we as the viewer have been getting for the last 3 seasons now. I'm pretty sure they're going to need something in this final episode that's worthwhile to actually keep me invested for another season. So, with that, we'll throw it over to you. How did you find this episode? Are you also finding it starting to drag on? Do you think Fatima will die from giving birth? And finally, in episode 10, the season finale, do you think Boyd's about to get his big comeuppance? Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and join us later in the week for some more solo content. And as always, we'll catch you next time with something new.